Hi, my name is Julian Romero, and I'll be presenting this week's project presentation. Our project is or was the Ward Thanksgiving Dinner. Team members are Jennifer Williams, Catherine Hobbs, Julian Romero, and Justice Okai. So, in general, our mission statement was to essentially plan a Thanksgiving dinner, and the success of our project would be measured by the wonderful time that friends and families would have at the dinner. Our opportunity we had discovered was we had the opportunity to unite our ward families uh, with a night of fun and enjoyment with each other. We also determined that this would be a great opportunity for missionary work, allowing not only the ward missionaries, but any member of the ward being able to bring a another person that's not a member or less active member. We had the opportunity to strengthen the membership, love and camaraderie with each other, and we're able to render a service to each other, showing our care and love for others. We figured that the feasibility for this project would be the entire ward membership would be allowed or available to participate in this Thanksgiving dinner. We have a location, which would always be the ward building, which is available for the members of the church. Funding from the church and ward and members of themselves would be able to cooperate and fund this project. And scheduling, we would, of course, give a heads up to the membership. The scope was to provide adequate food for the members that would be joining us for the dinner. Uh, in scope would also be the locations, which includes the chairs, preparations for table setup and decoration, supplies for eating, such as paper plates, spoon, forks, all that stuff. Setting up and cleanup would also be part of it because, of course, along with setting up, we also want to leave the building ready for a Sunday worship. The quality would be measured by having food prepared on time before the dinner. Um, we would also have to have the food purchased ahead of time. That way, we have sufficient enough time to prepare the food. The location uh, would be also the food at the location would be necessary to be at the location rather than at somebody's member's house. They're taking too long to prepare it. We also need to have enough food, so we have to account for a certain amount of members showing up, and the last quality aspect would be 10% of the members of the dinner would either be part of the missionary efforts, would either be a non-member or less active member. Some of the risks we considered were inadequate food preparations. We really definitely don't want anybody to get sick from undercooked food. There's also a risk of nobody showing up or over the amount that we plan for. The location might be double booked, so we would go ahead and mitigate that by going ahead and booking it ahead of time. And in some areas, the weather conditions would affect the dinner ever even taking place. The resources available to us would be personnel, which are the members of the church and including the project team members. Location, which is the building, and more than likely we'll probably use the cultural hall and the kitchen of the building. Gathering requirements would be part of getting the food, material, and decorations ahead of time, and also reserving some tables and chairs, and the serving material, which was the food plates. Our team underwent a planning poker session where we identified the tasks necessary to complete the the dinner. We identified the the value of each depending on the time and duration and difficulty of completion. So by doing that, we were able to discuss and understand in depth the the actual requirements per task, so that when we came up to it, we knew the difficulty level that it would take. and for the most part, our planning poker uncovered that the task was fairly simple. Not many of the tasks were actually very highly ranked. Our project backlog reflects the points we gave them. So we went from starting at the top as reserving the building and planning to eventually down to steps 12 and 13, which was serving the meal and cleanup. Total story points was about 30. And, and if once we graphed that in our project Burndown, you can see that there are points in our burn down where it seemed we would be coming in late, but because some of the tasks require uh, to be done near the completion time, the rate the rate of burn down, well, the velocity of burn down, uh, uh, wouldn't match the actual burn down because it needed to occur at the near the day of a day before of the dinner, such as cooking. You don't want to cook it too ahead of time, too in advance. You have a few hours to get that done and then bring it out. So another large bit of our task was making sure we manage our communication. We wanted to go through sprints and sprint planning to identify our project backlog, which we really didn't have to do a sprint backlog only because the task was a simple. All the tasks were simple enough that we were able to execute them within one sprint. So we were able to do that. We would have daily Scrum reviews to ensure that any task a member was assigned or an auxiliary was assigned, if they were having any difficulty, we would discuss with them how we can help them overcome any hurdles they're facing. Um, our In procuring all the items that we needed, we divided all the tasks into subtasks and making sure to ensure that everything was accounted for and anybody that was assigned something was actually able to complete it. And so this was our presentation for this week's presentation. Attached to the posting, I will have my rubric, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you.